you guys? It's Naseem here. Now, the iPhone 13 Pro Max has been around for some time now, and after my extended time of using it, I wanted to not only let you guys in on my experience with it, but I also wanted to tell you why I think that this is the best iPhone that you can buy in 2022. And I say this because when you think about it, the iPhone 13 Pro Max is the most premium safe option that you can get in the market. It has the best battery that can last you for more than a day. It has an amazing camera that can give you consistently good pictures and video. It has the smoothest software that you will get upgrades for up to 6 years. And it has a premium build quality for maximum durability. And that, along with many other reasons, is why I think that it's the best iPhone that you can get in 2022. Because if you're someone who wants power, speed, durability, and long-term satisfaction, the 13 Pro Max will leave you satisfied. And something that left me pretty satisfied was the 6.7-inch Super Retina XDR display that was pretty much the same as the 12 Pro Max, but with one major difference. And that major difference was the 120Hz refresh rate. Now, the new and improved refresh rate was something that I noticed when I first got this phone, and it felt very fresh. The 120Hz mixed with the smooth software really gave me a more premium experience that still holds up 10 months later. And even though it still feels premium, I will admit that I'm pretty much used to it and the new factor wore off, but I still was able to appreciate the change that Apple was able to make. And when it comes to size, there were times where it would be annoying, but there were also times where it was beneficial. Like whenever it came to anything visual, like watching content, scrolling through social media, or even taking pictures, it was great. But my biggest problem with the size was that it hurt my pinky finger whenever I was holding it since it was too big and heavy, and the fact that I had to continuously extend my thumb just so I could reach the top. And even though there are ways to get around the reaching problem, I still wanted to note it since it is something that you guys will have to encounter. But besides that, the responsiveness still holds up really well whenever I'm doing things like scrolling through apps, going through the interface, and even customizing my home screen. I never had any problems with it even after 10 months. The only time my screen would lag on me is when I would be outside and the phone would get hot. But something else that I wanted to note was that if you do get the 13 Pro or the Pro Max, they get hot much more often, I'm guessing because of the stainless steel materials. These phones are pretty prone to overheat. And now the screen resolution and visual experience on the 13 Pro Max was easily my favorite part of the display. I really enjoy how vibrant it could get at times, and it wasn't the best in the market, but it definitely held its own weight. There were also many times where I thoroughly enjoy watching actual TV shows and movies on the 13 Pro Max, and the size was greatly benefited as well. And now I wanted to give you guys an example of me playing a game and watching a video so that you can get an idea of how the display actually is.
Very high on Clarkson. That was before his great rookie year. Takeaway off the turnover. Here's Kobe. He's got 10 now.
So now that we've gone over the pros and cons that I had when it came to the display, let's move on to the best part about the 13 Pro Max, and that's the battery. Now the 13 Pro Max has a 4300 milliamp hour battery that lasted me a full day with high usage. I will be doing things like scripting videos, shooting videos, being on social media, and even occasionally playing games when I was bored. And on average, I would get about 6 to 8 hours of on-screen time, which honestly means that I should put my phone down and get a life because that is way too much on-screen time. But if you are someone who either has bad habits or works from your phone and is able to reach 6 to 8 hours, then this phone will last you. I will usually end my days with about 30% whenever I had to record a video, and on the days where I wasn't recording videos, I would end my days with about 40 to 50%, which is still really good. And my battery health is at 95%, and I think that's because I use my phone for work, as a GPS, and for media consumption, so more than likely your battery health will be much better than mine. And now when it comes to charging, I will say that the 20-watt brick charged it pretty fast whenever I needed extra juice, but because the battery was so good, I rarely needed to charge it during the day since I will usually charge it when I'm sleeping. And now the software on the 13 Pro Max is pretty much the same as any other iPhone that I have been using, and out of all of those phones, I will say that this one ran it the best. Whenever you want to implement widgets into your home screen, the size of this phone makes it much more clear, and even when I put my email widgets on the next page, everything was much more easier to read. I also really loved how every social media app was well integrated with iOS 15. The apps have great screen ratio that were a perfect fit. Accessing the apps through notifications felt very engaging, and most apps use the actual iPhone camera, so there were no compromises. The best thing that I loved about iOS 15 was how well it integrated with other Apple devices. Like the fact that I could instantly airdrop pictures to my friends, the fact that group chat and iMessage was much smoother than any other messaging app, and the fact that all of my settings could spread through all my other devices. Now moving on to the speakers, just like the MacBook Pro or the iPad, Apple has pretty much followed the same exact formula with the 13 Pro Max, and that's why they are the best on any smartphone that I have ever heard so far. Now, whenever I'm home, I usually chill and watch videos, so that's my only time I'm using it for the outer speakers, and I was always satisfied with how they sounded. There were also times where I would play music out loud while I was getting ready for work, and I really liked the sound quality. The bass was okay, but the instrumentals and vocals were incredibly loud and rich. And to give you guys an idea of how good the speakers are, I wanted to play a video and turn the volume all the way up.
Has to make a stand. Second and 15. The throw, and it's intercepted. He's got another one, and he's got a field ahead of him. Diggs is going to take it to the end zone. Unbelievable. Just when you think things are going your way, New England's going to stop and do something again. Jones, deep ball, and somehow they blew the coverage. It's Bourne to the end zone.
Now the 13 Pro Max has a 12 megapixel wide, ultra wide, and telephoto lens that I will say was pretty much the same as the 12 Pro Max, but that's not a bad thing at all. My favorite part of the camera was how well it was able to take photos outside. Like right here, you can see how well it captures skies, trees, and even the streets and sidewalks. The selfies were also pretty good, my skin tone was accurate, and one thing that I really appreciated was that my face didn't look too sharpened. Like there was enough softness to balance each other out. The inside photos were also really nice as well. There was very little grain whenever I took photos that weren't in good lighting, and the camera at times would create its own lighting, which really improved the pictures. I also really liked how nice it was able to capture different objects and give them a very clean look that again didn't give off too much sharpness, which resulted in very good pictures. And now when it comes to video quality, the 13 Pro Max in my opinion was the best out of any smartphone, and to show you guys what I mean, here's some videos that I took on it. So here's my final question. Is the iPhone 13 Pro Max worth it this late in the year? Well, if I'm being honest, I would say yes, because everything that you need in a phone, the 13 Pro Max will give you and will last you for many years to come. So there it is, my review on the iPhone 13 Pro Max after 10 months of use. Now, let me know that in the comments. Would you still get the 13 Pro Max this late in the year? Let me know. And if you guys made it to the end of this video, I'd like to say thank you for sticking around. And don't forget to like the video and subscribe. It'll be very appreciated. And as far as social media, you can follow me on Twitter and Instagram. And I will see you guys on the next one. Peace.